first place in their sights, Team Canada knew what was at stake against Switzerland.
McKinnon's goal! And just like that, Canada has seized the lead.
Now, with first place locked up in their pool, the Canadians have one last tune-up with Austria as they try to put an exclamation point on a perfect round robin. Belarus was looking pretty perfect a few days back.
They did not give Belarus a chance.
7-0 is your final.
But after a blowout loss with Russia, a heartbreaking defeat against Finland, Belarus finds itself clinging to a final playoff spot. A win, and they're in. It's Belarus, Norway, Canada, Austria. Final day of the round robin at the Worlds now.
Last dance before the quarterfinals on Thursday. Canada, Austria on TSN today, on Prague, Czech Republic, over in Ostrava, Norway and Belarus. Dan Hamhuis will wear the C. Sidney Crosby has the day off against Austria today. Sean Couturier will move up to that top line between Eberle and Hall. Michael Raffel. Team Austria getting ready. Patrick Thoresen and Norway against Belarus. Belarus needs just a point, and they will play Canada in the quarters. Lots to talk about. Hi, everybody. Welcome, Canada, to our final day of round-robin play at the World Hockey Championship. Alongside Bob Airy, I'm Rod Black. Canada has a chance to roll a perfect 7-0.
Yes, and they've earned the right here to do what they want in this final game. They're going to rest Sidney Crosby, the captain, in this one. And they are perfectly positioned right now, Rod. Just want to maintain those good habits.
Seem to be getting better as the tournament goes along. Probably the best team since 2007 when they won, a gold medal. So we've got a very busy day. We're glad. Just put your feet up if you're at work. Take the day off. Canada, Austria, Norway, Belarus. We'll tell you more about that game in a moment. Latvia and France at 10. The United States and Slovakia positioning to be determined over in Pool B. Czech Republic, Switzerland, and Finland and Russia. Final game as well. So it's Canada and Austria in Prague. Here's Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro.
Canada has a chance to go into the medal round undefeated for the first time since 2008. What's the message today, Ray?
Well, it's not offense. They've scored plenty of goals. It's to try and look after their own end a little better than they have. They've given up 12 goals in the last 4 games, and it starts really from the goaltender out. Mike Smith has had moments of brilliance and moments where he's been incredibly shaky and given up some bad goals. Defensively, they haven't done a really good job of pressuring the puck on the way back into the zone. They'd like to clean that up because while they're going to go through most likely undefeated, the real test starts in the quarters, and we all know, as it's been a long time since they've been past that quarterfinal game.
1 point for Austria today gets them back into next year's tournament. They'd avoid relegation for the first time in 6 appearances. The last time Austria faced Canada in this tournament was back in 2004 here in the Czech Republic. Reinhard Divis in goal, and a 20-year-old Thomas Vanek made his senior-level debut in a 2-2 tie against Canada.
Well, possibility of a tie, but Canada is loaded even without Sidney Crosby. Again, Couturier moves up. Braden Shen is back in the lineup today.
Yeah, you look at that lineup, a lot of speed. Canada are going to take it to the Austrians here, are looking for that point to avoid the relegation. So it's going to be interesting to see really how they balance things. To me, it's just about staying sharp, staying healthy as Sidney Crosby gets a rest here today, and make sure you're rolling on all cylinders. Canada looking for that first medal since 2009.
Now, Todd McClellan had talked about 5-on-5 play the other day. One thing we did notice in their final game is that they were really crashing the net a lot as well.
Yeah, well, you have to. These goaltenders are too good. You look, whether it's the National Hockey League here in the World Championships, these goaltenders are the best for their countries. And right now, Team Canada is scoring a lot of pretty goals early in the tournament. Now you got to get to the blue paint, just outside the blue paint, or they'll call it here in international play. But you got to score those dirty goals. Canada's been doing that.
And special team goals as well. Tyler Seguin, 5 goals in 4 games. They're combining with Claude Giroux. They seem to be a combination that's working well together.
Well, they're highly skilled,
yeah.
Rod. When you talk about these two guys, 7th Seguin was in National Hockey League scoring. Giroux, he was 12th with 73 points. They had 27 power play goals between the two of them. They are slick. They think alike. And that's why you want somebody, whoever plays with those two guys, to get to that dirty area, create that traffic in front. Those guys I'm not going to call them perimeter players, but they do like to make a lot of their plays through the seams in the perimeter. That's why that third guy is so important playing regardless of who it is.
Eberle, Hall, McKinnon, you go down the list. Let's talk about the backside too. And Aaron Ekblad, we all know what he's been able to do in his very brief NHL career so far, but this has been really an arrival at a world level for young Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah, the youngest Canadian scorer on that blue line. I mean, you look around this World Championships, you see Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He's leading everybody in points. Then you got Ekblad for Canada, moving up the backside. It doesn't matter who it is. You see these young defensemen come into their own, Rod, because they've been drafted high for their teams. They don't make the playoffs, come to the World Championships. Much like Roman Josi, they become stars, and it elevates their game.
Well, Canada against Austria in a few moments. Again, Team Canada already solidified in first place. Will play either Belarus or Slovakia, likely Belarus on Thursday. So this is a game about preparation. Expect some more firepower, more goals, and also defense. Tyler Seguin's been leading Team Canada lately. He's with Brian Mudryk.
Tyler, your team's had a great tournament so far. You've already wrapped up Group A. What's important for you guys to accomplish in this hockey game?
I guess our consistency and good habits. These guys are playing for a lot over there, Austria. I think they could go down if they lose this game, so we know they're going to be coming out hard. And we want to stay consistent with how we've been playing, going in the middle round.
I know you haven't gotten the chance to represent Canada a lot, but you're here. What does it mean to you to wear that jersey?
Oh, it's an unbelievable feeling. Right when I got asked to come play, I knew I was going to turn it down, so I'm really excited I came and having a lot of fun here.
Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thanks.
A lot of fun when you light the lamp as well.
This guy's back from suspension. He should be well rested, Kostitsin, Andre.
We'll talk about Belarus and Norway when we come back.
The 2015 IIHF World Hockey Championship from Prague and Ostrava, Czech Republic is brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
This final day of preliminary play will decide 1, 2, and 3. U.S., Russia, Finland in Pool B. And also the biggest decision, Belarus, Slovakia. Belarus just needs the point, and they move on to play Canada. With more on that game, Belarus against Norway. Here's Shane Knighty and Dennis Bayak in Ostrava.
For Belarus, they need something out of this game, a single point, and they will advance to the quarterfinals. And the good news for Belarus, Shane, is they get a couple of players back in their lineup.
Well, some welcome help back for Belarus as Andre Kostitsin comes back in the lineup after a one-game suspension for a hit to Viktor Tikhonov of Russia. And in net, Kevin Lalande will be back in net for Belarus today after a couple games missed because of injury, and he's really been the rock for Belarus. That being said, don't expect it to be easy against Norway. Slovakia lost 3-2 to Norway after leading by 2 goals in the third period.
And the reward for finishing fourth on this side, you will get Canada. Belarus's only other early game in this tournament, they lost 7-0 to Russia.
I don't know if that's such a reward. But Canada and Austria coming up. Starting goalies brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Lars Hagen, his number's 11th best in the World Championship. And there he is against the Belarus netminder Kevin Lalande coming back. 1.76.
Clarence Creek, Ontario.
Look at him. No, he's been really good. .921 save percentage. Mike Smith, up and down, hot and cold. Timely saves been the key for Smith. Get him sharp for the quarters against Starkbaum. .925 save percentage in this World Championships.
There's no tie for Austria in this thing. I mean, Canada's got to pound him, don't you think?
There's no Crosby for Canada.
No Crosby, no matter. Austria has no hope. Canada, Austria from Prague, Norway, Belarus. Enjoy, everybody. We'll see you during the intermissions.
The 12th and final day of the preliminary round of this World Hockey Championship has Canada taking on Austria. Canada has already secured first place in this group. For Austria, a point would ensure that the Austrians could not be relegated in this year's event. That would be the first time in their last 6 appearances they've not been bounced down. The last decade, they've gone in the revolving door of promotion and then relegation the following year. Austria in white is the home team. And the uniforms are polar opposites of each other. This is basically Canada's road sweater, or white sweater that Austria is wearing. Ryan O'Reilly looks in for Claude Giroux, so no Sidney Crosby tonight for Canada. Actually, today, just after noon here in Prague.
Oh, it all runs together.
3 games in this rink today, 3 games in Ostrava. A lot to decide on the other side. The top 4 positions all set here. The only question is who will not be back at the World Championship next year from this side. Slovenia has already been relegated.
And we know the 2 teams from this side that'll play here are the Czech Republic and Canada.
Yeah, the Czechs are the 3rd place team, but because they're the host nation, they will automatically play here in Prague. That means the 2nd place team, Sweden, will travel to Ostrava and play its quarterfinal match there on Thursday. Sean Couturier battling for it along with Taylor Hall. And fired down to the Austrian zone where Bernhard Starkbaum, who's had a pretty strong tournament for the Austrians, stops it in behind the goal. Austria opened with a 4-3 shootout win over the Swiss. Scored the tying goal late in the 3rd period in that game, and then won it in the shootout. Lost to Sweden, lost to France, beaten by the Czechs, lost to Latvia in overtime, and then lost to Germany in a shootout. Pardon me, beat Germany 3-2 in the shootout. And a chance now for Matt Duchene walking in. Starkbaum makes the stop.
Starkbaum has made 6 straight stops in the shootout. There, a mini breakaway for Matt Duchene, and he closes the door on him.
And that Austrian win over Germany in the shootout gets them where they are today with 5 points. Latvia has 4 and France 3. Latvia and France play in the 2nd game here today. If Austria doesn't gain a point, it will stay and watch the 2nd game and hope for a regulation time result. If that game is decided in regulation, the loser is out of the tournament. There is a scenario, though, where France wins that game in overtime or a shootout. That creates a 3-way tie, and Austria would be the team out if Austria doesn't get a point against Canada this afternoon. Tyler Ennis brings it back and gets bumped off the puck by Florian Mulstein. Back is Brent Burns to pick it up for Canada. Burns has played 17 more minutes in this tournament than any other Canadian player.
Well, he and Dan Hamhuis have been the go-to pair for Canada throughout this tournament. They've been one of the groups that just hasn't changed since the very beginning.
Michael Raffl, the Philadelphia Flyers, tries to play that ahead. Got bottled up. Raffl is the biggest NHL name on this Austrian team. They did not get Michael Grabner, who's been battling a series of abdominal issues and may have to have surgery this summer. And Thomas Vanek was tied up with the Minnesota Wild in the NHL. In comes Sagan with a shot, and Starkbaum shuts him down. Starkbaum had a great year for Brynäs Gävle in the Swedish Hockey League. Posted a save percentage of .922 in the regular season for that storied Swedish club. Now Raffl on it. Michael Raffl on this Austrian roster, rather, with his brother Thomas. And now Jake Muzzin plays it out.
These 2 teams played an exhibition game in Vienna prior to the tournament. Canada was just getting their legs underneath them, but said they were surprised with how quick that Austria was. And the game, of course, of great importance to Austria today, that a day after beating Germany in the shootout.
In comes Patrick Wierkaj trying to center for Jordan Eberle. That's broken up with a 4-2 win by Canada in Vienna. But think back to 2004, the tournament right here in the Czech Republic, a 2-2 tie. Reinhard Divis, who had gone to become a teammate of yours.
St. Louis, he had a stint in the NHL.
And a 20-year-old Thomas Vanek, who scored in that game against Canada. Away comes Matt Duchene, along with Jason Spezza. Spezza rink wide for Wierkaj. In shoots, Starkbaum makes the stop. And Thomas Raffl gathers up the loose puck. Goes that rink wide. The pass intercepted by Nathan McKinnon ahead to Matt Duchene. In comes Duchene. He tries to center it. And it's picked off by Raphael Rotter. Rotter, who scored against the Germans yesterday across the line, is offside.
Matt Duchene had a fantastic start to the tournament. He had a goal and 3 assists in the 2nd game against Germany, and he's behind the Austrian defense here. He tries to go through the legs of Starkbaum. He likes this move, And this hits about the back third of the pad. It's almost all the way between the legs as Starkbaum is able to make the stop and keep the game scoreless.
Long rink-wide pass there for Tyler Toffoli. Toffoli +8 in this tournament, tied for the lead among all players. And Hamhuis puts it down towards the goal.
At least 4 goals in every game for Canada.
Now Cody Eakin gathers it up. Plays that across. It's kept alive. Fired back in by Burns. That goes just wide. Now the rebound shot off the side of the goal by Eakin. Thomas Hunterfoot goes after. Got bumped there by Burns, who's pitched up. And now settled down by Hunterfoot and behind the Austrian goal. Rink-wide pass. Everyone being very careful not to play the puck on line changes. 23. Too many men on the ice penalty so far in the tournament. Claude Giroux walks in, drops it back into the right backdoor pass. Score! Tapped home by Tyson Barrie. And Canada has a 1-0 lead.
What a great play by Ryan O'Reilly. O'Reilly's got now 7 assists in the tournament. It's Tyson Barrie's first goal in the World Championships. And Barrie, who likes to poach up into the play, at 12 goals this year in Colorado, is going to join the rush. Giroux backs everybody off, and look at O'Reilly. Head up the entire way. He's looking on the back door for Barrie, and Barrie gets on the inside of the Austrian defender. There's no chance for Starkbaum. It's a beautiful 3-way passing play, finished off by Tyson Barrie. The Colorado Avalanche teammates team up to make it 1-0 Canada.
And O'Reilly with his 7th assist in this World Championship. We talked about it before, Ray. He's really been a complete player for Canada on the power play, on the penalty kill, 5-on-5.
I would say, you know, for the consistency game to game, he's been Canada's best forward.
Also been terrific in the face-off circle. Now brought in by Michael Raffel. That pass was blocked by Tyson Barrie. Drops it back. Jake Muzzin plays it around. And O'Reilly digs for it. Played out by Giroux. Tyson Barrie swings it across for Muzzin. Braden Shen, by the way, back in the Canadian lineup with Sidney Crosby sitting out, waiting for the quarterfinals on Thursday. Rink-wide pass goes to Thomas Raffel, who plays for Salzburg in the Austrian League. 7 members of that Austrian League Championship club are on this Austrian roster, and their head coach, Dan Ratushny, is here as well. Everly tries to chip it out. In the open corner, it goes for Taylor Hall. It's over 7 gone here in the opening period. Battle for it in the corner. And that's picked up by Hall. And Taylor Hall brings it ahead. Hall's got 7 goals and 14 career games at the World Championship. Brings it ahead for Aaron Ekblad, who shovels it back on goal. Rebound loose in front for Couturier. Couldn't quite tap it home. And now Hamhuis back for it. Hamhuis goes rink wide. But Canada's changing. As it's picked up by Palestrang. Alex Palestrang comes in, taken down by Hamhuis. And everyone has a nervous look back at the official. Eakin. Up ahead for Toffoli. Rink wide it goes for Ennis, and Tyler Ennis on it now. Spins back in the corner. Toffoli waits, feeds in front. Ennis with a chance. It bounces around. Starkbaum made the first save, and the rebound squirted away. Now Burns along wrist shot. Starkbaum makes the stop on that and hangs on. Canada with an early 1-0 lead here in Prague. Approaching 12:30 here in Prague. Canada with a 1-0 lead on Austria. The final round-robin game for both these teams in the 2015 Worlds. Canada will be going to the quarterfinals on Thursday. Austria hopes to be back in Russia next year in the A pool. As Nathan McKinnon fires, and that's deflected wide. Now centering pass, McKinnon walks back in, looks down for Matt Duchene. Almost another avalanche-to-avalanche goal there after O'Reilly set up Tyson Barrie earlier. And McKinnon finds Duchene again. On the boards, Jason Spezza plays it down. Now Spezza back on it. Got bumped there by Mario Fisher. Spezza spins back in the corner, drops it off for Duchesne. Matt Duchesne back in front. Spins it back for Barry, back to Duchesne. And Matt Duchesne. Watch there by Florian Eberer. Eberer takes down Duchesne. And now Fisher couldn't clear it out for the Austrians. And at the line, it's held by Muzzin. Muzzin shoots. Stark bomb save. Rebound. Duchesne with a shot. Scores. Matt Duchesne with a backhand. And it's 2-0 Canada.
Duchesne's had 3 good chances in the first 9 minutes of this game. And eventually he's going to get to the loose puck. Scores 3rd goal of the tournament, but this is not possible if Jake Muzzin doesn't keep the puck alive at the blue line. It's going to ricochet off the boards, and Muzzin keeps it right on the line. His shot is denied. Spezza keeps the puck alive and chips it to his right, where the quick Matt Duchesne is able to jump on the loose puck, and the backhand deflects up over top of Starkbaum in the Canadian or in the Austrian goal.
So Colorado players have made it 2-0 in favor of Canada. First Tyson Barrie, now Matt Duchesne. And meantime, in Ostrava, Belarus is playing Norway. Belarus trying to nail down the 4th playoff position in Group B. Batting for now is Herberger. Raphael Herberger down in the Canadian zone. And watched there by Aaron Ekblad. Back in the point. Shot taken by Florian Multi. That deflects wide. And is picked up by Giroux. Race for it now as Tyler Seguin gets there. Lays around for O'Reilly. Muscles Mulstein off the puck. And O'Reilly kicking at it. In to pick it out is Giroux. Back in the slot as Tyler Seguin picks it up. Seguin winds his way through. And scooped up by Mulstein. Thomas Raffel spins back. Taylor Hall almost with a steal. Now they go rink wide, and Altman plays it ahead for the Austrians. Past the midway point of the first period. Austrians Manuel Latusa with a shot that Mike Smith steers wide.
Second shot for Smith here in the first 10.5 minutes.
In comes Taylor Hall, winds in, fires, that goes just wide. And Burns back on it, centers it. Bounced away from Hall to Eberle. Eberle back to Hamhuis. And Dan Hamhuis banks it off the inboards for Sean Couturier. Side of the goal, a quick shot by Hall, turned away by Starkbaum. And Hall back on it. Palestrang. Lighted ahead, the pass picked off by Couturier, and ahead it goes to Eberle. Jordan Eberle winds his way in. Eberle drops Couturier in, shoots, that's tipped wide by Hall. Now Burns keeps it alive. His hard shot, knuckleballs wide of the goal. Muzzin plays it down to Hall. Taylor Hall spins back, centers it. And Starkbaum broke that up. Now Burns the long shot, score! That's tipped. Looks like Taylor Hall got a piece of it, and it's 3-0 Canada.
Well, for a team looking for a point, it's going to be an impossible start for Austria to dig themselves out of. Good shot by Burns from the point as he keeps the puck low to the ice and allows the forwards to stay in the play. It starts initially with Hall's good work below the goal line, but Austria hands the puck right to Burns in the middle of the ice. His shot is tipped perfectly by Taylor Hall. He's got 6 goals, and Canada's up 3-0. Brent Burns, that's his 6th assist as well.
And with Belarus holding a 1-0 lead on Norway, any point for Belarus in that game clinches 4th spot and a date with Canada in the quarters on Thursday. And the funny part of that is that Norway is a big part of the Belarus operation because they came back to beat Slovakia. Belarus can knock Slovakia out today, thanks in part to the points Slovakia left on the table against Norway. Now Muzzin back on it, backhands it high off the boards, and a race for it now. Brayden Schenn in for it, and Schenn gets there first to negate the icing. Ennis comes in along with him, so you got Brayden Schenn along with Tyler Ennis and Cody Eakin in the forward line for Canada. Raphael Rotter picks it up. When she scored against Germany, he never saw the puck. It hit his heel and went in, but a crucial goal in the third period for the Austrians against Germany. Now picked up by McKinnon. And Alexander Sian raced back on him. Milstein. Orion Milstein lifts that down in the Canadian zone. And Mike Smith out to play it, taps that into the corner. And the long shot at the stick of Milstein hits the side of the goal. Spinning back is Patrick Weircott. Moved ahead by David Savard. Through the middle by McKinnon for Duchesne. Back the other way comes Brian Ledler. Ledler with a long shot, stopped by Smith. Michael Raffle on the rebound, fanned on it. And Burns leads the rush for Canada. In comes Brent Burns winding his way in. Long wrist shot tipped wide by Spezza. Under 7 to go now. In the first period, lead pass to Raphael Herberger working in. He shoots off the leg of Burns. Herberger back on it. Centers it. That's knocked away from Heinrich. As Sagan picks it up and a bouncing puck in the slot. Settled down by Hamhuis. Hamhuis. Cross to Burns and ahead for Sagan. In comes Tyler Sagan across the line. Drops it off for O'Reilly with a quick shot that goes wide. Looking for the tip by Sagan. Tyson Berry jumps back on. Sagan finds O'Reilly, that's poked away from him. And Palestrang has it for Austria. Scooped up by Sagan. Centers with a quick shot fired wide by Giroux, who looks to the rafters after he missed. Now knocked away from Sagan. A race for it now. Heinrich can scoot. In comes Heinrich with a chance. Stopped by Smith. The rebound drops right down in front. And it's scooped up by Tyson Berry. So Mike Smith faces his toughest test so far in the first period as he turns away Dominique Heinrich. In comes Eberle. Drops it back. Ekblad walks it and scores. Aaron Ekblad makes it 4-0 Canada. And Ekblad has his 4th goal of this World Championship.
Ekblad appears to love this shot. Across the net. About 1.5 feet off the ice. But there's Dominique Heinrich, the defenseman. He can fly. He gets by Sagan, who can really scoot too. Mike Smith with the stop. And then after some confusion around the Canadian bench, Jordan Eberle's going to get to the puck in the middle of the ice, drive everybody back. Austria doesn't do a very good job of picking up Ekblad. That's the shot I'm talking about from Ekblad, about 18 or so inches off the ice on the stick side, across the net, and he's got another one.
4 goals in just over 8 minutes for Canada here in the opening period. So the Austrians, who knew they'd be in tough today, playing a rested Canadian team, may have a long day ahead of them of playing and then watching games at the World Championship. Battle in the corner for it now as David Savard played it up. And Taylor Hall had it taken away by Florian Eber. Now intercepted by Hall. Eber tangles with him. Emmanuel Geyer plays it back out to center ice. Raphael Rotter plays it back. Eber backhands that down to the Canadian zone as Burns goes back. Got bumped there by Nicholas Petrick, but Burns just skates away from that, swings it rink wide for Tyler Ennis. Ennis works his way in. Ennis centers it right through the crease. And Burns went bumping into Starkbaum, but play continued. And Mario Fischer brings it ahead for Austria, being shadowed there by Toffoli. 4.5 to go in the first period. A 4-0 Canadian lead, so Canada has now scored at least 4 in every one of its 7 round-robin games. Jake Muzzin snaps it ahead for Toffoli. Tyler Toffoli walks in, shoots, and ramps off a stick. Up and out of play. Canada with a 4-goal lead here in the first period in Prague. It's been all Canada here in the opening period against Austria. 4-0 lead. Canada beat Switzerland 7-2 in its last game. With the tight win against France before that, a 4-3 win that raised some eyebrows.
2 days off didn't go so well for Canada because they came back and left their legs somewhere else. And A 3-3 tie in the third period. They needed Eberle's power play goal as the difference maker. But I'm sure Todd McClelland's pretty happy about the first 16 minutes here.
And a quick shot taken there by Brian Lebler.
Not just the goals, but the fact that they've been on the puck, they've skated. There's been times where Canada's just gotten themselves through the game, but this has been a good start.
There's Dan Ratushny from Ottawa, won a gold medal with Canada at the 1990 World Junior, then silver at the 92 Olympics. His sister Kim Ratushny played in the first ever Women's World Championship back in 1990, won a gold medal there. His brother-in-law Kent Manderville won a silver medal with him at the Olympics and played 11 years in the NHL. And the Ratushny family, a big part of building girls and women's hockey in the National Capital area. Dan actually went to law school after his playing career ended and was a corporate lawyer on Bay Street in Toronto. Didn't like it. Came back to coach over in Europe. Guided Salzburg to a national Austrian title in his first year as a head coach over there. Konstantin Komarek busting in now. Komarek in, fires it wide. Aaron Ekblad stayed with him step for step and did not take a penalty. Heinrich now tries to center it, bouncing puck, and Ekblad shovels that ahead and finds McKinnon.
Austria's had 2 breakaways in this period by the 2 guys that scored in the shootout for him yesterday afternoon, Komarek and Heinrich.
So you talked about that prior to the game, Ray, that cleaning up at the defensive end, one of the goals for Canada today.
Yeah, they've burped up a couple of turnovers. Heinrich just outskated Sagan to a puck, which tells you how quick he really is, because Sagan can really go in there. Ekblad had a bobble, and the chances that the bobbles become more frequent in a game that gets out of hand are pretty predictable. All of a sudden, you're just not as sharp.
Centering pass for Sagan, drops it back to Burns with a shot. Starkball makes the stop on that. Now Burns back with it, trying to center it. That's picked off by Palestrang. Bouncing puck up to center ice. And here's Sagan with it. O'Reilly rings it around. And the centering pass goes to Sagan. And alone shoots, and Starkball makes the stop on him.
Bad time for a cross-ring pass by the Austrians as Sagan just picked it up and walked into 15 feet away.
Now the centering pass just missed Mieterdorfer, who jumped in from the blue line for Austria. The puck moves to the side of the goal. Sagan up ahead for Couturier. That's knocked away. And under 2 to go now in the first period. Raphael Rotter. And it knocked away by Muzzin. Now swinging back for Austria is Martin Schubnik. Now Rotter turns it over. Couturier ahead for Hall in with Eberle. That pass goes off a skate. But for all the problems Austria's had staying in the main group of the World Championship, the Austrians did qualify for the Olympics in Sochi in 2014 at the expense of Germany. Eberle, a little back pass for Hall. That misfired. Now drop back Eberle. Try to swing that rink wide, almost picked off there by Alexander Sayan. Hall drops it back. Eberle trying to reach for it. Now Couturier waiting back in the corner. Hall got tied up. And the battle ensues as Eberle is standing there. Hall swings at it. And Sayan finally knocks it out for the Austrians as Couturier goes back and swings that rink wide for Patrick Wierkoch. Both teams are changing as Wierkoch comes in. And Wierkoch fires it around. Tyler Ennis hops on it for Canada. In the corner is Cody Eakin. Eakin leaves it there for Toffoli. And the centering pass for Ennis misfires. There's Savard with a shot. That's just wide. Altman back on it. And Eakin got bumped there by Schubnik. Now Savard comes in for it. Fires it around for Toffoli. Centering pass for Ennis. He drops it back for Wierkoch. Wierkoch to Savard. David Savard, the Columbus Blue Jackets, plays it down to Cody Eakin. And here's Ennis back on it. Tyler Ennis drops it back in the corner for Eakin. 10 seconds to go in the period. Ennis walks in. Sends it the other side for Savard. He centers it for Patrick Wierkoch. In shoots. That deflects wide off the skate of Sayan. And time will expire here at the end of the period as Canada goes to the dressing room with a commanding 4-0 lead. You're watching the 2015 World Hockey Championship live from Prague.
If you are a newbie, a new to hockey family, this is the program for you. The First Shift with Hockey Canada and Bauer, designed to ensure a positive experience for new to hockey families. Register for the 2015-16 season. For more information, hockeycanada.ca/first shift. From the first shift to the last shift in that period, Team Canada dominant 4-0. They had a 4-0 lead over Germany. It led to a 10-0 win. We might be on the verge of that here with Bob Airy, Rod Black with you. Creating open spaces is what Team Canada did.
Well, they did. They wanted to maintain those good habits. They wanted to jump on the Austrians. This is as good as Canada's looked, minus Sidney Crosby. Look at Duchesne. Center drive. Back up everybody with speed. 3-on-2. Create that seam. And Canada getting umpteen opportunities with their speed. Claude Giroux. And take a look at the center drive by Seguin. You got to create speed for your buddies. Look at the open ice. Ave to Ave, O'Reilly to Barry. The defenseman jumping up. And I got to tell you, that is really good stuff for Canada as they look forward to the quarters.
D-men jumping up, whether it's Barry or Muzzin or Burns or Weirkosh or Ekblad.
Oh, and they were very impressive, all the defense. Weirkoch was involved as well. But you got to take a look at the defensive work here. Joining the rush, make 4-on-3s out of 3-on-3s. There's a beautiful feed. Barry, the beneficiary. Muzzin keeping the puck alive with stick, then skate. And hello, Duchesne, 2-0. Canada, not to be outdone. Burns, redirect by Hall. 6 goals.
This is sweet.
Ekblad leads all defensemen. 4 goals for the 19-year-old, 6'4", first overall. Talk about a star. I'm loving this guy.
Ryan O'Reilly has not scored a goal for Team Canada, but he leads Team Canada with 7 assists, including 1 in the first. He's with Brian Mudryk.
Ryan, obviously a great period for Canada and for the Colorado Avalanche, too. Take me through that first goal. You really had a nice hesitation and then slid it over.
Well, yeah, anytime Drew gets the puck, you got to find a way to get open, and that's exactly what I did there. Just try to find the open ice and try to get a shot on net, but Tyson's flying in back doors, try to get on the puck.
You've had a great tournament so far, a lot of time on special teams and draws. How much do you enjoy that responsibility that coach is putting on you?
I love it. It's definitely it's a huge job that I definitely take a lot of pride in. Something that, if we will win this tournament, I have to be on every night and can't have any casual moments. So definitely looking forward to it and have to maintain that.
What does it mean to you to represent Team Canada?
It's always an honor, especially when things don't go well during the season, you don't make it, to have an opportunity like this and to get invited here and play with this group of guys, it's an honor and really happy to be here.
Good luck in this one and the quarters.
All right, thanks a lot.
Team Canada leads 4-0, and I think they lead on the beard meter too. They got some great beards. Fear the beard. Fear Canada. 4-0 over Austria. The boss of Hockey Canada, Tom Rennie's virtually done it all in the National Hockey League, was a national team coach, and Tom Rennie is in Prague with the team right now, and he's with Brian Mudryk.
Tom, great to see you again. So at the World Under-18s in Switzerland and now here in Prague at the Worlds. First up, let me ask you about here in Prague back in 2004. Assistant coach working with Mike Babcock. You guys had a great team that year. Danny Heatley, MVP. What memories do you have from that gold medal experience?
Well, it was a fantastic team and one that was real hungry right from the get-go to win a championship, which was good. And I think in combination with Mike and myself and Mike Polino, we just had a lot of fun coaching a team that really wanted to win.
Tell me a little bit about this group. Back home, a lot of fans excited for Canada to obviously medal. What does it mean when they watch back home for grassroots hockey and developing of players?
What's great about a team like this, Brian, is that these guys all want to be here. They're good players. They're significant with their club teams back home. They wanted to be here in the first place. That really resonates, I think, back home to the grassroots players, to our coaches back in minor hockey, for example, of what the other end of all of this can look like. Even though you might not be an NHL playoff team, there's still an awful lot to play for. And they're here having fun on behalf of their country, and that's the way it should be, whether it's Saturday morning in Kitchener, Ontario, or over here in Prague.
What does it say about a guy and like Sidney Crosby when he says, hey, Team Canada, I want to come over here and help out Hockey Canada? That had to have been huge.
It's huge. It just means, means so much to us, but it also suggests how much the game has meant to Sid, how much his coaches have meant to him, the people that have helped him along the way, but also his Hockey Canada experience to date in general obviously has been something that he treasures, and we really appreciate that, of course.
Tom, thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of the tournament.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Tom. Not to mention win a world championship, part of that triple gold club.
I love that kind of stuff. Crosby's looking for it. Canada's flying.
All
Canada in the opening period with a 4-0 lead, looking more and more like Canada will face Belarus in the quarterfinal here in Prague on Thursday. The start times have not been set, but the Czechs are playing here, so you'd think they would get the 8:15 local start. That would put Canada at 4:15.
Get up early.
10:15 a.m. Eastern, not that early. 10:15 Eastern, not too bad. 7:15 Pacific.
I guess I'm thinking about where I live. Get up early.
Yeah, get up early. You're used to that, though, right?
Yeah,
get up early, stay up late.
Oh yeah, I'm always really late. The NHL games are over at 9:45 where I live.
I know, it's fantastic, isn't it? NFL game start at 10 o'clock. There's a chance for Ryan O'Reilly, plays it across for Claude Giroux. And sweeping back is Raphael Herbert going to pick it up. A funny scene in the hallway a moment ago as the teams walked out. The teams walked side by side down the hallway. Braden Shen looked over, and there was his Philadelphia teammate Michael Raffles standing next to him.
I have seen action in that hallway. We were playing in one tournament, and the guy had taken a pretty healthy run at Brad May. And he chased him down in the hallway. There's no security there. There's just a bunch of guys in suits, but you know, nobody's really going to do anything. And he went running by on the little thin mats, and you're like, that's not going to go good.
Just think for a moment, in the NHL, the American League or Junior, if you had the teams walk on and off the ice together, what absolute mayhem and carnage would ensue. I mean, it's hard enough now. The teams can be separated by 60 feet and a wall, and they're still going to do it.
Yeah, it's just a different. This is a different setup, and particularly in the tournament, right? Because there's so many teams.
Right.
The locker rooms they're all in one hallway. It's like a minor hockey tournament,
and they're all staying in the same hotel.
Just different.
Thank goodness the spirit of sportsmanship and fair play breaks through. But there have been incidents over the years. Soccer's had a ton of team, because they walk out together. In comes Hall, now centers it, and all alone in front is Sean Couturier, shut down by Starkbaum.
Really nice play from Hall.
And then Hall again fires, and Starkbaum makes the glove save. And you feel for Starkbaum, who has played well for Austria in this tournament, getting lit up for 4 in the first period.
Couturier in the middle of this line in replacement of Sidney Crosby today. Makes a nice give and go with Taylor Hall, and Couturier, who's got goals in 3 straight games, was turned aside by Starkbaum. Couturier seems to be one of those players that Don McClellan didn't know a lot about at the start, because he would have been in the other conference. He wouldn't have seen him much, and gradually his minutes are starting to climb. Certainly on the penalty kill, or if they get into a protection of a lead, Couturier is going to be involved in that.
At Duchesne comes streaking in now. Duchesne centers and scores! Tapped home by Jason Spezza. And it's 5-0 Canada, less than 2 minutes into the second period.
From the very first shift, when Matt Duchesne had a 15-foot breakaway on a pass from Spezza, Duchesne's been sniffing it today, and Spezza, another give and go here. The puck gets moved out to Duchesne, and Spezza goes right to the front of the net and chips this over top of the glove of Bernard Starkbaum, but it's the speed of Duchesne that really makes everybody back up. Good hands by Spezza, and it's 5-0.
So Jason Spezza, who scored twice in Canada's first game against Latvia, has his third. 5-0, Ray, you know what that means.
We're on the brink.
One more goal. Trivia time.
Thought we were going to get a couple more, and the games stayed tight.
Suddenly the games got closer near the end. We were a little surprised by that.
You've been carrying around this little book with trivia questions. I'm a little nervous.
I hope we find them interesting. Put some thought into them. I hope we find them interesting.
Oh, I do find them interesting.
And the audience who we actually broadcast these games for.
Well, maybe that's more important, but I'd like to get one completely right. 70% of each answer is really not working to me.
Dominic Heinrich works it, wraps it around. Save made by Smith.
Wow, he's got a couple of good chances today. He could really skate Heinrich in.
5'9", 170, maybe.
Maybe. But man, does he get around the ice.
Dan Bertucci, the head coach for Austria, says he just lights up their league. With 5 goals in 13 playoff games for Salzburg, Austria, as they won the Austrian title. As a defenseman, that's not bad.
You get the impression at just 24 years old, he's going to be around this program a long time. It's his first world championship.
In comes Burns. Now, Austrian players don't get the benefit as much as other countries of playing, for example, at the top level in the World Junior Championship. Austria's only been in the A pool at the World Juniors twice in the last 25 years, got relegated both times. Now Burns back with it. He shoots, he fired it just wide. Whereas countries like Switzerland, who are in the World Junior almost every year. Germany's been in it quite a bit, but got relegated this year.
And you see some of the players from these smaller countries, they played 50 or 60 games in the World Championship.
Now Sagan tries to center, that's knocked around and back to Burns. Burns a long shot, that goes just wide. Canada changing now. And Palestrang lifts it out. Right near the Austrian bench as they're changing. Careful, everyone. And Palestrang plays it ahead. There hasn't been a penalty yet in this game. And Sagan brings it in.
I think 42% of the opportunity of a penalty will be on a too-many-men on the ice.
Is that your assessment of the odds?
That's what I think it is. More than a hook, more than a trip.
In comes Sagan with it now. Tyler Sagan works it back in front. The pass just missed Brayden Schenn. Now Jake Muzzin drops it down to Sagan. Tyson Barrie plays it back to Muzzin, comes walking in. Jake Muzzin backhands it back in front. And that's broken up by Thomas Raffel. Top pass goes to Manuel Atusa. And then Raffel, a long shot, is loose in front. Tyson Barrie knocks that away. Gets by Schubning, and a chance now as Schubning gets to hustle back as Eberle was bearing in on him. Giroux centers it. Brayden Schenn across to Eberle with a shot. Starkbaum makes the save. Poked across to Eberle. He lost it. And Daniel Mitterdorfer has it. 2 years ago, the Philadelphia Flyers signed Michael Raffel out of this tournament, playing for Austria. Last year, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare from France.
There's a couple of players that are of interest. There's Dominic Chimone is an undrafted 20-year-old winger with the Czechs, and McLadel is a little bit older, 27-year-old defenseman. They've impressed. Plachta, a winger for the Germans. He's a pretty physical guy, has gotten some interest. So the reason all these scouts are here and management's here is because they're looking for a diamond in the rough. They're looking for somebody that doesn't cost them a draft pick. And they can put them into their organization. And in most cases, they're older players. And so they're players that they have a better feel for what they are like. But the one thing that's happened is teams talk about when we get to chat with GMs is they got to be careful not to get fooled.
Right.
The difference of playing with the flag on your chest as opposed to playing for a North American team and 80 games and trying to project that from this tournament to the NHL is tough to do.
And the grind in the NHL, 82 hard games.
And the grind gets tougher because if the guy gets over there and you realize he needs some North American seasoning, does he really want to go ride around on the buses, or does he want to come home and play in a more comfortable existence?
Right.
And there's no way of knowing some of that until you get them over.
Damien Brunner, for example, of Switzerland, was a tremendous scorer year after year in the Swiss League of the World Championship. Went to the NHL with Detroit and then New Jersey, and never really got settled into the NHL and never became a regular goal scorer. Cody Eakin swings back now, sends it back for Tyler Ennis. And it's around for Toffoli. Tyler Toffoli tried to scoop that back. It's picked off by Herberger. Austria had just 5 shots in the first period, but 2 of them were breakaways. Now Smith way out to play it. Shots are 4-1 Canada here in the second. Toffoli on it. Had it knocked by him and Tyson Barrie. Knocks it down for Canada. And Toffoli looks ahead for Ennis. Tyler Ennis comes scooting in. He's got Toffoli in front and Eakin. And now Toffoli joins the battle in the corner for it. Barry spins it ahead, trying to find Toffoli. Milstein plays it around for Miederdorfer. And Miederdorfer snaps that pass ahead and finds Herberger, who backhands it down to the Canadian zone. Mike Smith out to play it. Enjoying the freedom of being able to play the puck wherever he likes. Now Sagan plays it ahead. Kicked ahead by O'Reilly for Shan. Drops it back. Sagan in, trying to play that across for Muzzin. And the pass is picked off by Thomas Raffel. Raffel, the older brother of Michael Raffel. Spins back.
Scored a big goal yesterday against the Germans as well.
Did he ever? Eber comes walking in, shoots from a sharp angle at the side of the net, and
it's stuck on the side of the netting.
There it stays. 5-0 Canada leads here in the second period. Back here in Prague on the final day of round robin play here at the World Hockey Championship. Good morning, wherever you're looking across Canada. It's just after 1 o'clock local time here in Prague. Still to come today, Latvia plays France. If that game is decided in regulation, the loser is relegated. Now David Savard with it in the corner, centers it, bounces off Starkbaum, moves to the side of the goal. Taylor Hall couldn't get a stick on it. Now Florian Eber plays it back, picked off by Hall, and a penalty coming out of Austria as Couturier picks it up.
There it is. It's not a too many men on the ice penalty. Disappointed.
Well, it was only a 42% chance, you said, so there's still a 58% chance it was something else.
It was the field.
And the field wins. It's a hooking call, and Canada will get its first power play of the game. With 8.5 gone, and Raphael Rotter goes off.
Rotter gets the stick onto the hands of Couturier, and Canada gets their first power play.
8 for 23 in the tournament. Tyler Sagan's been the big trigger man, with Jason Spezza doing a lot of the setup work for him.
No power play goals the first 2 games, and power play goals in 4 straight.
In comes Spezza, drops it down to Hall, spins and shoots. That was blocked by Milstein. Here's Tyson Barrie. Across he goes to Sagan. Right where he likes to score, at the top of that certain face-off circle. Barrie across to Ennis. Back to Tyson Barrie. Feeds back to Spezza. Down to the goal line for Ennis. He centers it, and fending on that is Taylor Hall. Now Sagan back with it. To Barrie. Back to Sagan. Works it back to Barrie. Lots of traffic. He shoots. Starkbaum save. Rebound. Hall couldn't get to it. And Milstein flips that to the corner. Hall back on it. For Ennis. Back to Sagan at the point. Tyler Sagan. Long wrist shot. Starkbaum the same, and this time there's no rebound.
Good battle by Starkbaum to work around Taylor Hall's screen, and Barrie shows off his mobility at the top and then finds Sagan, who shoots this for the deflection. It actually hits the foot of Taylor Hall, and the trajectory changes, but Starkbaum moves in good position to make the stop.
Off the draw, Duchesne with a blast. That was blocked by Thomas Raffel. Now Duchesne plays it back. Burns a drive. Starkbaum kicks that bullet away from Burns. Now Burns trying to hold the line, but the puck squirted away from him.
You know, the more I watch Burns play defense, the more I find he reminds me of the way Dustin Byfuglien plays. They're two such unique players. They both have had success at forward. They both have success at the blue line. They're both so big and almost impossible to handle. They're really unlike almost anybody else in the league.
Joel Quenneville has always said of Byfuglien he has the most unique skill set in the NHL.
See, I think Burns is every bit the same.
Giroux drops it back to Eberle. Back for Claude Giroux. 35 seconds to go on the power play. Burns drops it across for Duchesne. Back to Burns with a drive that was blocked. Now you've got Mario Fischer with no stick for the Austrians. Burns plays it back across to Giroux. To Burns in the high slot. Burns shoots. He was that high and wide. Now Duchesne with it. Burns chips it across for Giroux. To O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly plays it down to Duchesne, walks back in. That backdoor pass for Everly missed. O'Reilly racing back, and it's knocked out by a diving Nicholas Petrick. Penalty's over as Burns comes in. The play's offside at the Austrian line.
Wow, did Austria get lucky, because Fischer was going to the bench on a change because he didn't have a stick. But the player that made the dive, the excellent effort, Nicholas Petrick, he decided to change too. So there was only 2 Austrian players on the ice, and Canada went offside at the blue line.
Austria in 6th place in this group, playing its final game of the round robin now. Latvia and France right behind them. Latvia's got 4 points. France has 3. So some nervous moments for Austria, presuming this holds up, but their shootout win over Germany, the turning point for them late in this tournament.
Duchesne and Spezza have had a good afternoon. This is the first shift of the game. Spezza throws it to the net. Duchesne gets the mini breakaway. They hook up on Duchesne's first goal. Spezza with a little pass. Duchesne chips it over Starkbaum, and then Duchesne's nice rush. Then it's finished off by Jason Spezza, who started the tournament with Sidney Crosby and then has been moved to a line here with Matt Duchesne. And Spezza had a real good first couple of games, a quiet middle part of the tournament, and good game here. And there's the benefit of having Canada's lineup, is nobody has to carry the mail every night.
And after this, it's down to single elimination playoff games. The quarters on Thursday, semis Saturday, and the bronze and gold medal games on Sunday here in Prague. Spezza slides out ahead for McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon plays that wide of the goal. Racing to it now is David Savard. He got away from him and back down to the Canadian zone. Spezza flips it ahead for Couturier. Shot Couturier in, shoots, and Starkbaum makes the stop on that.
Couturier with a good shot. He's had a goal and 2 assists against the Swiss in their last outing. Lots of kids here on a 12-15 game.
Yeah, weekday start.
Can you imagine if the crossover game features the Czechs and the Russians here? That's going to be awesome. It's so much fun in here when the Czechs play anyway.
Yeah, I mean, every game involving the Czechs is great.
But the pressure and the enormity of the game for the 2 countries will make that, if that's exactly what turns out, right now it's on track for, it would be very exciting.
Hunter Funk put that wide. We mentioned Canada on track to play Belarus in the quarters. Everything else is really wide open. It's very tightly bunched in Group B. On the final day of competition, likely come down to the Finland-Russia game tonight to decide the final placing. Mirkosh chips it ahead for Shen. That's broken up by Hunterfund. Thomas Hunterfund, who plays for Klagenfurt in the Austrian League, fires that wide. The Austrian League is interesting. It encompasses teams from obviously Austria, Italy, the Czech Republic, and there's a Slovenian team as well. Not surprisingly, the world's largest energy drink is a big part of the Austrian League, because that's where it was founded. To the home of Red Bull. O'Reilly flips it ahead for Sagan. Connor Sagan works in. Tries to center. That's broken up. Now Sagan back on it. Under 7 to go here in the second period. Canada with a 5-0 lead. 5 goals in the first 21 minutes of the game. O'Reilly for Giroux. Back to Hamhuis. Across to Burns. He finds Hamhuis. A long wrist shot that was blocked in front by Mario Fischer. Now racing to it is Giroux. Plays it back. Sagan walks in and shoots. That's blocked. And loose puck scooped up by Fischer. He's got Cien streaking ahead, but Burns knocked that pass down at center ice. And it was played with a high stick, but the Austrians touched it, so play continued. Hamhuis across for Burns. Rink wide he goes. for Ennis. And that Canada-Belarus game looking even more likely now as Belarus has taken a 2-0 lead in the game against Norway in Ostrava. And that pass off a stick out of play. 5:50 to go here in the second period in Prague. Canada with the lead here against Austria. Belarus with a 2-0 lead on Norway. If that score holds, the Slovaks will know going into their game against the United States that that game has no meaning for them. But the U.S. with a chance to clinch top spot in that group. There's a chance for Toffoli with a shot. Starkbaum the save and the rebound cleaned up by Michael Raffel. And then we'll wait and see to find out who the Czechs will play in the quarters here on Thursday. The Czechs are in action tonight against Switzerland to close out the round robin.
You'll be rested for that game.
Yes, I will. Herberger shoots. Bounce around in front for Michael Raffel. Fires it back. Mike Smith couldn't find it. Herberger with a chance. Smith is down. And the puck is under the Canadian net line. What exactly are you getting at, Ray?
Well, there's 3 games here today. How many are you doing? 2.
Oh, how many are you doing?
3, because there's 3 games.
Well, Sidney Crosby gets a game off. I get a game off.
No, you're confusing yourself with know your role, jabroni.
You could call out the I knew Dan. I serve at Senator Kennedy Line. You're no Sidney Crosby.
You, sir.
You, sir, are no Sidney Crosby. Oh, we are getting the day off for part of it anyway.
Well, who is?
Sidney. Here's McKinnon. Knocked down in the corner, played back to the point for Weirkosh.
A lot of people bought tickets to this tournament to watch Sidney Crosby. Yeah. They've had the opportunity to see him live. He's had a point in every game.
Now Savard plays it down. No stick for Starkbaum. Makes the stop, though, and hangs on to that. Got Latvia and France coming up. That's an important game for relegation. We should have our top analyst, our #1 guy, should be doing that game. It's important.
Just don't forget to bring me back dinner.
That's not going to happen.
I wouldn't expect it.
I'm not going to forget. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, let's clear that right up. But it is a big game for those countries. Yeah. And it's funny, we've seen some pretty terrific hockey from, as you call it, the 2 different tournaments.
Right. Chance in front, tapped wide by Eberle, and Starkbaum got a piece of it.
Once that 4th quarterfinal spot was set, with the Swiss earning that spot, then you turn quickly your focus to the bottom 4 teams and who can make it, what mathematical gymnastics have to take place for one team to have a chance or another.
In comes Burns and now feeds it back in front. Eberle, a backhand shot, scores! Jordan Eberle.
What a beautiful play. Eberle has a goal and an assist. Burns a couple assists today. Eberle starts the play out of the corner and then gets to the front of the net. Really good patience to hold on to the puck. Look, he comes out of that mishmash on the boards.
Where we've seen that goal before.
Wow. Backhand deep. Up top. A little more time in the game this time.
Yeah.
Than in Ottawa. He pulls Starkbaum out of position and is able to chip it over top of him.
That's the second time he's nailed that goal camera in this tournament as well.
He's going to get a bill pretty soon.
And Belarus has now made it 3-0 against Norway, so it's almost in ink. Canada and Belarus in the quarters here on Thursday. As Ekblad shoots, that goes over the glass and out. Okay, Ray, it's 6-0. It's trivia time. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
11 players.
11 players?
Just hold on.
Why don't you ask me to name the 53 Montreal Canadiens or something?
11 players in IIHF history have played in the World Championship before they played in the World Junior. Who is the only one to win a gold medal at the World Championship before winning a gold medal at the World Junior?
We're going to need to narrow down the time frame.
Oh, Well, the World Junior officially began in 1977. Want it narrower than that?
Wayne Gretzky.
No. You got the right country, though. Do you want the years that he won?
Lindros.
No. Good guess, though. He won a gold medal in the World Championship in 2004 and won a gold medal in the World Junior in 2005.
That would be Mr. Crosby.
No.
Did he not? Did he not play in 05 in the World Junior?
He did, yeah.
Really? That's too many guesses. I'm out.
Patrice Bergeron, the Boston Bruins. Played for Boston as an 18-year-old in 04. Then there was the lockout year the next year, played in the World Junior.
That World Junior team was unfair. Wasn't it?
14 of those players off that 05 World Junior team were in the NHL the next season.
And not stumbling around either.
No, and 6 of them played for Canada in the Olympics 5 years later.
What a team. What a collection of players.
Neither goalie on that team played a game in the NHL. In comes Tyson Barrie with it now. Drops it back to Shane with a bullet shot. That goes just wide.
Beauchemin?
Yeah, Régent Beauchemin.
Jeff Glass.
Yes. Ooh, good one.
Glass went over to the KHL and played there for a while.
Yeah.
With all due respect, I got to think I could have put in a goaltending performance there and the team wouldn't have suffered too badly, and I'm scared of the puck.
That team is widely considered the best ever Canadian team and probably one of the best ever teams for any country in the World Junior, but the Canadian team in 94, 95 in Red Deer, also a lockout team, was pretty good as well. Now Geyer, long shot knocked away by Smith.
The worst part of this for Austria is now everything's out of their hands.
Right, they've got to sit back, and
there's no use getting Starkbaum out of the net like the French did yesterday with Cristobal Huet to rest him for another. There is no other game, and now you got to hope that the game ends in regulation. They want somebody to get out 4-0 in that game.
If France beats Latvia after regulation, there will be a lot of talk about it being cooked so the two of them could survive. And Dan Ratushny, the Austrian coach, even asked about it yesterday at his press conference after the game against Germany. I find it hard to believe that could happen. There's been allegations of it before that countries have gotten together to arrange to both survive. Palestrin comes in, puck bounces right back down to him, plays it back in the corner.
I mean, it's very likely that game's going to be close. You know, I can't imagine somebody's going to get out 6-1 in that game. So why can't it go to overtime? But if you're Austria, you're thinking that better not happen.
But again, it has to be a French win in overtime for it to create the three-way tie scenario. Eberle up ahead for Hall. The two Edmonton Oilers Stars go nose to nose, and Starkbaum gloves that and hangs on.
Hall had his 6th goal earlier in the game in the first period. A deflection of Brent Burns' shot.
Okay, want to try another question before we go?
It better not be.
It's a tricky one, though. Okay. Who's the only player in the history of the NHL to score a goal in the National Hockey League before he scored a goal in junior?
Chris Draper.
Yes. Good one.
That for some reason that
you were on that like a kid on a Smartie.
I like Smartie.
Me too.
It's got chocolate on it. I like it.
That's very true for you. In many ways, you are 9 years old.
Yes. It's funny. My kids often say that too.
Here's Ekblad working in, fires, and it's knocked away by Starkbaum. So Draper, as an 18-year-old, played for the Canadian national team. They used to have a full-time national team, played for them for the whole year, scored a goal in the NHL, and then went and played junior the following year. In comes Lebler now, working into the final seconds. That's knocked away from him. And Canada extends the lead to 6-0. After 40 minutes of play, looking to go perfect through the round robin here in the 2015 World Hockey Championship.
Team Canada squashing the Austrians right now, and interesting because the quarterfinals come Thursday. They're likely playing Belarus on Thursday based on what's going on in that other game, and so good habits are important right now.
They are, and Team Canada, the forwards, the defense team, they got it rolling. What about Mike Smith, a guy that comes in a little bit of up, a little bit of down in the tournament for Mike Smith? And, you know, he's so good at handling the puck. The Austrians have a chance to dump it in several times. This is 2-on-3, but they just failed to do so. And Team Canada turning it over at their own blue line. Same thing here. They just try to go individual against Canada right into that hornet's nest, and the puck goes the other way. That's tough to do. And when you dump it in, you got to deal with this. Mike Smith, so good at playing that puck. There's no trapezoid here in the World Championships. That's the benefit they have. And Mike Smith trying to stay sharp for the quarters.
This is going to be a tough game for Mike Smith because they don't offer a lot of offense. Let's talk about the offense for Team Canada. 6 goals. They've rolled up again, and Jordan Eberle is always involved.
Well, you got the defense involved in the first period. Now you got Jordan Eberle involved in the second period. This is what he did. Taking the hands, soft hands, forehand to backhand.
We've seen that before.
Where? 2009?
Yeah.
World Juniors?
Can you believe it?
Tavares, Eberle, gold medal. Thanks for coming. So really good stuff there for Eberle. Hall gets on the board again. He's got 6. Hall, Eberle's got 5 in the tournament.
He's playing with Sean Couturier as well. And Jordan Eberle of the Edmonton Oilers is with Brian Mudryk.
Jordan, obviously a dominating game for Team Canada so far. Is it nice to have this kind of performance with the quarterfinals looming?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, if you get into games like this, you just want to stay sharp, get yourself ready for obviously the quarterfinals. You know, a lot of times these ones you get a little lax days, goals start making mistakes, and it can creep into the next games. But I think so far we've kind of been pretty sharp and on top of it, and keep pushing.
Is there, if anything, you guys would like to clean up with the quarterfinals coming up? Yeah, well, that's the main thing. Is you want to keep getting better. You know, that's been the message from day one. Is just trying to improve every day, and once we get into obviously the quarterfinals and hopefully the semis, you know, we'll be playing our best hockey. You've got to play with a lot of great players. What's it like playing with Couturier out there in this hockey game? He's great. He had a great tournament. You know, a lot of the times, like I said before, it can be tough. Every guy here has played a ton of minutes on their team, but when you come here, you know, you're getting limited and you got to be ready. So he's really accepted his role well, played well, and obviously with sit out tonight, stepped in, and you know, he's fun to play with. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks.
32 goals wearing the Maple Leaf. Canada loves him. I'll tell you who doesn't. The guy who invented the net cam. Jordan Eberle is the great enemy of the net cam. That's twice this tournament. Crash. That's all right. 6-0.
On a Tuesday afternoon here in Prague, approaching 2 o'clock local time, Canada with a 6-0 lead on Austria after 2 periods of play, and with Belarus leading Norway. It would appear as though Canada will face another Canadian coach at the World Championship. This time in the medal round, Belarus coached by Dave Lewis, the former head coach in Detroit and Boston. Longtime assistant Scotty Bowman with the Red Wings. He's taken over coaching the national team of Belarus. See the Kostitsin brothers. Andre and Sergei having a productive tournament for Belarus here.
Canadian goaltender for Belarus, Kevin Lalonde.
Yeah. Lebler walks in. That shot knocked away. Brian Lebler has Canadian roots. His dad, Eddie, a BC native, spent 12 years playing in Austria. That's where Brian was born when his dad was playing there. Brian played a couple of years for Penticton in the BC Junior League, then went to the University of Michigan, played for Red Berenson for 4 years. And was a big goal scorer this year in the Austrian League. He led that league in goals with 35 tallies in 54 games playing for Linz. Good living to be made over in Europe for Canadian and other players.
Bet there is. You still get to play the game you love. There's really good leagues that offer competition that you might not know about until you get over here. That was an interesting way Mike Smith decided to play that. Some good money to be made as well.
And a pretty nice lifestyle.
fantasy part of the world. I mean, just think you play the game as a kid because you love it, and eventually these players get to play it as pros. And when else are you going to get to live in Austria or live in Germany or live in some of the places that all these players have had the opportunity if they don't make it to the NHL?
Ekblad's long shot knocked down by Starkbaum. I have one more trivia question for you today. You ready?
Okay.
Which former teammate of yours is the most penalized player in the history of men's Olympic hockey?
Paul Samuelson.
No, and that would be everyone's first guess. Islander.
Darius Kasparaitis.
Another excellent guess. Another problem. Pat Flatland.
That would be 500 high sticking penalties for Flats.
I'd have to look it up. 70 career penalty minutes in the Olympics.
Oh, he must have snapped in one game. Yeah.
I'm assuming he had one off moment. That goes wide.
Yes, you can pile up 30 minutes in a hurry here, but the rest of them would have been some sort of slashing or high sticking penalty.
You're saying of Gentleman Pat.
Not out there. Not out there he wasn't. I got one.
Heinrich shoots, score!
Oh, right on Heinrich's goal. Sorry about that, Dominique Heinrich.
Heinrich snaps it over Smith's shoulder, and Austria's on the board.
He's been an entertaining player to watch, hasn't he, Gord, throughout this tournament? He skates extremely well. It's his second goal of the tournament. Scored in the shootout yesterday. Just a gorgeous move. He had a breakaway in the first period. And here he gets the puck in the middle of the ice and gets outside of Ryan O'Reilly. And yuck. Mike Smith's got to have that. But Austria's on the board. A shot from the wing. It goes through Dan Hamhuis, and Smith waves at it, and it's 7-1. Actually, it's 6-1.
Close enough. In comes McKinnon. Walks in and shoots. Now it's 7-1.
There you go. Preemptive strike.
You can see the future. If I'd known that, I'd treat it a lot differently over here. 9 seconds later, Canada's back up by 6.
Well, I didn't think it would be that quick, Gordon. Nathan McKinnon's third of the tournament. He had a fabulous first game. He and Sidney Crosby and Jason Spezza combined in a hurry for 3 goals. And here McKinnon uses his speed to get into the middle of the ice, and this goes right through Bernard Starkbaum, and it's 7-1.
It's been pointed out by some of the Saskatchewan members of the Hockey Canada delegation that's the Sheepdogs song they play after goals. Saskatchewan band. You know that?
I did not. It's
now they score again, 8-1. Jason Spezza banks it in. So Spezza's got 2 tonight.
So 2 goals in seconds. 2 goals in 21 seconds for them. And Spezza's got his 4th of the tournament, and 2nd today, as you mentioned. Stronger on the puck to get the puck, and then the puck bounces off of Mitterdorfer's skate into the middle of the net. He's trying to go across to McKinnon. Oh, skate, glove, and in.
That shouldn't count. So Starkbaum is out of the net, and Rene Svet will come in for the Austrians. Started against Sweden, allowed 6 goals on 24 shots in that game, was pulled in the second period. Played against the Czechs in relief after Starkbaum was pulled, allowed 1 goal on 12 shots in that game. In his second World Championship appearance for the Austrians. What was your trivia question?
How many points did Wayne Gretzky have in all tournaments, international tournaments?
That's not a good question.
Yes, it is.
A number. It's a terrible
Think,
question.
Gord.
Terrible question.
Think, Gord.
99.
Very good, Gord. Why didn't I just tell you the answer, too? Crying out loud. When you get a question, you can't snivel about the question. You have to give it an attempt.
You do it all the time. I said 11 players and you snapped at me. Here's the folder.
11 players.
When I was setting you up, you let me finish.
99 points.
Isn't that nice? Nice round number. He likes round numbers.
Yeah, they're all lots.
They're big round numbers. Here's Eakin back with it. You wonder about a game like this, Ray, going into the quarterfinals. Did you want a sterner test? Did you want a harder game?
Oh, for sure you do, but I would say they would look at that first period as an example of how they want to play. And I didn't, as I said at the time, it's not even so much about the 4 goals. It was about how hard they were on the puck, how quick they were to get closer to support the puck, because they haven't done a great job of that, I don't think, on a consistent basis through the tournament. The chore will be to extend that 20 minutes to 40 minutes to 60 minutes, or as close to 60 minutes as you can get. And I love hearing this, oh, you know, you need a 60-minute effort. It never happens. You can't control a game for 60 minutes. There's going to be dead times to it, but you can't let the dead times overrule how much you play well.
Now O'Reilly taps that ahead for Tyson Barrie, who scored early on for Canada. Now Sagan knocks it down, Muzzin on it. And Miederdorfer has it. So if you're just joining us, Canada had a 4-0 lead after 1, 6-0 after 2. Austria has scored here in the third period, but it's an 8-1 Canadian lead. The last time these teams met was in 2004 here, and a 20-year-old Thomas Vanek was making his senior debut with the Austrian national team. He scored, and Reinhard Divas, a future teammate of yours, Ray, in St. Louis. And Austria tied Canada 2-2.
Lord, that 3-goal burst was the 3 fastest goals in World Hockey Championship history.
And they might just have 4 as Brayden Schenn snaps it home to make it 9-1 Canada.
That was 3 goals in 21 seconds. Schenn, who's played sparingly in this tournament, just his second start, rifles this one past René Svet in the Austrian goal. Steal by Duchesne, and he finds Schenn, who just rockets this up into the top corner. 18 goals on the season. Schenn fell into a secondary role when Sidney Crosby became available, and good for him to get on the board.
That's 4 goals in under 4 minutes by my count. And a 9-1 Canadian lead. Canada beat Germany 10-0 earlier in the tournament. Ekblad shoots, that deflects wide. Shots are 31-11 in favor of Canada. So the Austrians, who played yesterday, knew that a rested Canada would be a handful. And now the Austrians will have to wait 3 hours to find out if they're in the tournament next year or not. Latvia will play France in a game, by the way, that will be expertly commentated by Ray Ferraro and Brian Mudryk. As Hall works in, centers it, and the save is made by Sveta.
Yes, it will be, I might add.
Will learn their fate. Just under 13 minutes to go in the third period. Canada with a 9-1 lead on Austria. We mentioned that now Austria will wait to find out its fate as Latvia plays France in the next game here in Prague. Latvia a point back of Austria. France is 2 back. As long as that game ends in regulation, Austria is fine. And then the loser would be relegated. Where it gets tricky for the Austrians is if France wins that game beyond regulation, that would create a 3-way tie. And Austria, based on the standings between those three teams would be out. Ekblad with a shot that's deflected high by Tyler Toffoli in front. And Braden Shen feeds it back to Ekblad. Cross to Weirkosh. Back to Ekblad.
Geez, he moves around nice. I mean, he's such a big guy. He's so smooth with his movements on the blue line. And just hard to believe he's just 19 years old.
Turned 19 in February.
That's a pretty nice cornerstone to have on your blue line.
Eakin dropped it back for Weirkosh. Ekblad scored 12 goals in 81 games for Florida. The average, almost 22 minutes a night for the Panthers. We're in the playoff chase right to the end of the Eastern Conference.
They've got a lot of really good young players.
Weirkosh with a hard shot. That's kicked out by Rene Svet.
Be interesting to watch that team grow.
Now playing across. Eakin with a drive and the save again made by Sveta. Centering pass for Eakin. In shoots and again Sveta makes a stop. And the shooting gallery continues with Martin Schubning in the penalty box. Weirkosh drops it back for Ekblad. Aaron Ekblad plays it back across. Eakin drops it back. Weirkosh with a shot. Not the usual suspects on the Canadian power play, but moving the puck around pretty well as well.
It's Braden Shen. He's on the ice with Cody Eakin. In their last years of junior, the two of them were traded for a combined 15 players. Eakin was traded for 7 pieces, as they call them, draft picks and players. And Braden Shen was traded for the rest of that bounty. Shen went to Regina from Brandon, and Eakin went, I want to say he went from Swift Current, went out west to Kootenay. Did you imagine trying to cobble that together? Okay, we need another 4 draft picks.
I need a 5th. Well, not giving you a 5th. Oh, the deal's off then. The other 11 pieces work, but that
after a while, how do you even know what you're getting?
How many guys were you traded for?
You're one. I was 1 of 5.
1 of 5 for 1, right?
For 1 player. And come to think of it, I was on the lots of players for fewer players a couple of times. I don't know what that says about me, but
don't take it personally. I'm sure it's nothing.
We were 5 of us from the Rangers to LA.
Low Giroux for David Savard. His shot got blocked in front. Ollie Matz of the Chicago Cardinals in the NFL was once traded for 9 guys to the LA Rams, and the Rams got the better of the deal.
As you say, yeah, he was Hall of Famer. They win.
Like none of those 9 guys.
It's tough to swing and miss that many times. Here's the latest chance. David Savard's going to go onto the back door. You see the Austrians get caught mesmerized watching the puck carrier, and really nice pass from Claude Giroux. Oh, through the skates of Thomas Raffel. Savard goes to the backhander, and Savard had a great season for a couple of reasons. One, he had 11 goals and 36 points. He doubled his goals and points. Secondly, he played 82 games, which was an absolute miracle for Columbus this year. They, unfortunately, were just decimated with the injury bug in the first half of the year. They finished really strong. That's going to be a dangerous team next year.
He averaged 23 minutes a game for them. Remember 2 years ago in the playoffs when they played Pittsburgh, took them to 6 games, and a lot of observers felt that 5-on-5 Columbus was at least Pittsburgh's equal, if not better. The difference in that series was the Penguins' power play.
Well, they've got a star building block in Ryan Johansson in the middle of the ice. You know, Boone Jenner has off to a great rookie start, and then got hurt, had back surgery, but they've got a lot of terrific young pieces, including Marco Dano, who was injured at this tournament.
Hunter Fun fires it wide. By the way, Norway has scored again, now down 3-2 to Belarus in the 3rd period there. Now, if that game goes to overtime, Belarus clinches a playoff spot with a point. Norway making a late run at Belarus.
Well, games get a little tighter, and you'd always like to be, if you're out, you'd like to be someone that can throw a wrench into the plans of whoever you're playing against. See, Starkbaum came into the game with a 92.5 save percentage and gives up 8 here to Canada.
About 10 minutes to go there as well in Ostrava. And Slovakia cheering like mad for Norway, hoping that their game against the United States could then have some meaning. A Slovak win, if Belarus doesn't get a point, the Slovaks would beat the United States in regulation and get to the quarterfinals. A long shot, but on the last day, that's what you cling to. But for Slovakia, if the Slovaks don't make it, they coughed up a lead against Norway and lost, and there's your difference. And now is Thomas Raffel, that's turned away by Smith. And a sharp angle, Raffel fires again. Komarek back with it, shovels it back in front, the pass missed Palastrang. There's some pressure here by Austria in the late stages as Thomas Raffel has it, being watched there by Eakin. Raffel spins away from him. Thomas Raffel scored 26 goals this year for Salzburg. We never see him and his brother together on the ice, Michael. Even on the Austrian power play, they're on separate units. And in comes Thomas Raffel. Poke check there by Ennis, and a chance now for Canada. Ennis in with the Foley. Tyler Ennis, Tyler Foley into the goal post. Hanging off the pipe, he was that close to making it 10-1 Canada. Long shot taken by Cian, stopped by Smith.
We're not seeing much of Dan Hamhuis or Brent Burns now.
No.
As Canada starts to rest a little bit. Turnover at the blue line, and Eakin's going to poke it up to Tyler Ennis. This is a sweet little dish by Ennis. Flat for Toffoli, and he flubs the shot. He's trying to go right under the bar. He misses the shot, and it hits the goal post and stays out.
Mario Fischer back to pick it up for Austria. And Cian plays it back. Fired down in the Canadian zone, and Smith plays it around. So Sweden will finish second in this group, but will have to go to Ostrava to play because the Czechs get to stay in Prague as the host team. And Sweden won't know likely until about 10:30 tonight who it's going to play in that crossover game. The third place team from Group B will be their opponent.
But their plans are set. They're going to leave tomorrow morning. They're going to get up to Ostrava for a practice.
Glad winds in and rolls off his stick.
Get themselves situated there and get to work preparing for their crossover game, which could be against the Finns. And oh boy.
Eber, sharp angle to the side of the goal with that.
They finally found the net behind Pekka Rinne. Had a shutout streak of record proportions here in the World Championships.
Set the modern-day World Championship record for a shutout streak. 200-plus minutes. Burns comes in and shoots. He fired that high and wide.
That would hit the net.
237 minutes for Rinne of the shutout streak, and actually his team streak was longer. He didn't play in one game.
Could you imagine, though, the Russians and the Czechs possibly in one quarter, the Swedes and the Finns in another?
Yeah. If the U.S. takes care of business today, you'd have the United States against Switzerland. Now Weirkock got his stick knocked away. Rotter with it, centers it. And Lebler couldn't get a shot away. Now Lebler back with it. It's knocked back up to center ice. 5.5 to go in the third period. Rafael Rotter hit the Michael Raffel. Raffel works his way in, drops it back for Rotter. That's picked off. And Spezza outlets for Weirkosh. Ahead to McKinnon. Drops for Duchesne. Matt Duchesne in, shoots. Rebound, score! Matt Duchesne taps it home, and it's 10-1 Canada.
Second 4-point game of the tournament for Duchesne. 10-0 win against Germany. He had 4 points. He's duplicated that here. Watch McKinnon get out into the open ice, and he just spreads the ice out. Duchesne's going to get 2 cracks at it. Svet can't hold on to the first shot. Duchesne puts the second one in, and it's 10-1.
Colorado players have done some damage today for Canada. So Canada equals its highest goal output in the tournament thus far, equaling the 10 goals they scored against the Germans, you mentioned. But now 17 goals in the last 2 games for Canada. And no Sidney Crosby this afternoon, as he is taking a rest this afternoon. He'll reload for the quarterfinal on Thursday. Now to Foley with it. Tied up by Thomas Raffel, brought in by Eakin. Cody Eakin winds his way in. Drops it back to Jake Muzzin. The shot, it ticks off the outside of the post. And Sveta got a piece of that, but not all of it. Schumdick throws that down to the corner for Austria. And Tyson Berry plays it back for Cody Eakin. Eakin's Dallas owner Tom Gillardy's been here the last few days, thoroughly enjoying his first World Championship and the atmosphere that goes with it. And seeing a number of his players play as well. Now Savard races back for it. David Savard. Head for Jordan Eberle. Now Ekblad finds Eberle, walks in and shoots, and again Sveta got a piece of that. And this time it goes up and out of play. 3:52 to go here in the third period. 16,000 plus here on a Tuesday afternoon that saw the game start just after noon. Canada with a 10-1 lead on Austria. And it'll be packed again this afternoon with Latvian and French fans. As Ekblad shoots, that was blocked. And then tonight, of course, you got the Czechs and the Swiss. Heinrich works his way in. Dominique Heinrich, who has the Austrian goal in behind the Canadian net. Poke check there by Ekblad. Leaves it down to Rotter. Raphael Rotter walks back out. His centering pass off the skate of Couturier, and Canada's away. Couturier for Ekblad. And Geyer goes back to pick it up. Burns banks it around for Eberle. That missed. And here's Schenn with it. Weirkott. Through the middle, he finds Tyler Seguin. And Seguin shovels it down for Giroux. Claude Giroux. Trying to tap that back for Weirkott. And now Miederdorfer. Gathers it back up. So for Austria, they knew they'd be in tough, and now the worst of all worlds. You got to sit and watch 2 other teams play and decide your fate at the World Championship, and that fate is, will they be back next year or not? Austria trying to survive relegation for the first time in a decade. They've been sent down their last 5 trips to the World Championship, and then the following year, every time, one promotion out of the B pool. Now the trick with that this year is there's 2 host teams in 2017. You might not win promotion out of the B pool if you get relegated this year, because looks like Germany and France are guaranteed spots in 2017 as Paris and Cologne co-host the tournament.
That would make the B tournament a lot less fun. You win, great. See you next year. Same tournament.
You got the first back-to-back winners of the B pool. .145 to go in the third period. It's been all Canada from the start. The next question, Joe, will be about the quarterfinal, which is where Canada has stubbed its toe in the last 5 straight World Championships. Losing 5 consecutive quarterfinal matches between 2010 and 2014. Ennis walks in, plays it down for Foley. He stopped.
49 goals in the preliminary round for Canada. With their 4-point night, Spezza and Duchesne tie Oliver Ekman-Larsson for the tournament scoring lead.
And Canadian fans are trying the Czech hopping bit. Or those are Czechs wearing Canadian uniforms. And the Austrians are up and singing. And one of the things we've seen, no matter what the score, the fans get up, salute their team at the end of the game. The Austrian fans have the flags waving, they're clapping and chanting. I saw the German fans do it yesterday after a loss. McKinnon takes the return pass, takes a quick shot, and Sveta makes the save on that. And Savarva into the final seconds now, the third period. And a lead pass goes to Eberle. Jordan Eberle, and he fired it wide. And given by how much that missed, that might have been on purpose. 10-1, Canada wins for the first time since 2008. Canada will go to the medal round with a perfect record. It looks as though Canada will face Belarus in the quarters. 3-2 Belarus leading Norway with 7 to go there. So as long as Belarus wins that game or it goes to overtime, that'll be the matchup in the first round. And now for Austria, it's waiting time. Mike Smith gets the win for Canada. And now it's time for the player of the game presentations and then the national anthem. Still to come today, Latvia takes on France. And that'll sort out the relegation on this side of the draw. Slovenia has already been dropped down out of the other group.
The best player of Team Austria is number 67, Konstantin Komarek.
Komarek has credit for 2 shootout winners for Austria in this World Championship, and that's probably the reason, if they do survive relegation, that they'll be back next year in Russia. They opened the tournament by stunning Switzerland, coming back late to tie and then winning in the shootout.
Number 88, Brent Burns.
Brent Burns is Canada's player of the game. These awards are selected by the management staffs of the two countries.
Couple assists for Burns. He's had a terrific tournament.
And as we know, this was the last game of Austria, so we will also announce the best 3 players in the whole tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, now the award of the 3 best players of each team of the tournament will be presented a gift by the local organizing committee. The 3 best players award is selected by each team and will be presented by Mr. Petr Hrubec, Deputy General Secretary, 2015 International Ice Hockey Federation, Ice Hockey World Championship Organizing Committee. The 3 best players of Team Austria are number 91, Dominik Heinrich. Number 29, Bernhard Starkbaum. And number 5, Thomas Raffel. So these are the best 3 players of the Team Austria in the whole tournament. We congratulate to them. But now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Canada.
Says Mike Smith rocks. Team Canada, they put another 10 spot up on the board. Germany earlier in the tournament. Now Austria get ready for the quarterfinals and look